You open your eyes before the alarm even sounds, and the first thought that greets you is not a prayer. It is a question you have been carrying for days now, maybe weeks. Should you take the new position or stay where you are safe? Should you send that message or wait a little longer? Someone told you one thing yesterday. Someone else told you the opposite this morning. And now you are lying still, staring at the ceiling, trying to hear which voice is right. Your phone sits on the nightstand, screen dark, but you already know what it holds. An unanswered message, a decision that cannot wait much longer, a crossroads with no clear signpost. This is not a small thing to you. You know that whichever path you choose will shape the next season of your life. And that is exactly why you feel frozen. You are not lazy. You are not lacking faith. You are simply afraid of choosing wrong. There is an old promise tucked into the book of James that speaks straight into a morning like this one. It says that if anyone lacks wisdom, they should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault. Not a formula, not a guarantee of a clear sign in the sky. A promise that when you come to Him honestly, empty-handed, unsure, He does not turn you away. You do not need the whole map today. You do not even need to know how the story ends. You only need enough light for the next step. That is what this morning is for. Not answers to every unknown, just enough clarity to move faithfully, one step at a time. With God walking beside you instead of shouting the answer from a distance. God, I do not know where to start except to say this out loud. I am tired of turning this decision over in my mind. I have looked at it from every angle I know, and I still cannot see clearly which way to go. Lord, I bring you the exact thing that is keeping me up at night and greeting me the moment I wake. I bring you this crossroads, this unanswered message, this choice I cannot put off much longer. I have heard so many voices about it. Some say to move forward without hesitation. Others say to wait, to be careful, to stay put. I am not asking you to silence every one of those voices this morning. I am asking you to help me hear yours among them. I confess that some of my fear is not really about wisdom. Some of it is about control. I want to know the outcome before I take the step. I want a guarantee that I will not regret this later. But that is not how you usually work with me, is it? You give light for today's step, not a full view of tomorrow. So this morning, I am asking you for exactly that, not the whole road. Just the next step, Father. You said in your word that if I lack wisdom, I can ask you, and you will give it generously without finding fault in me for asking. So here I am asking, plainly, without pretending to have this figured out. I lack wisdom this morning. I feel it in my chest. I feel it in the way my thoughts keep circling instead of settling. Please give me what I do not have. I do not want to rush ahead of you out of impatience, and I do not want to hide behind delay out of fear either. Both of those are ways of avoiding trust. Help me instead to bring you my honest uncertainty and let you meet me there. I release my grip on needing the full picture right away. I bring you my racing thoughts and ask you to quiet them enough that I can listen. I think about the version of me a year from now, looking back at this morning And I wonder which choice that version of me would thank you for. I cannot see that far ahead, and I know I am not meant to. But the fear of regret is heavy this morning. God, heavier than I want to admit. Help me carry it honestly, instead of pretending it is not there. Take this morning's confusion and turn it into an act of trust, not because the confusion instantly disappears, but because I choose to bring it to you instead of carrying it alone. This is where I start today, Lord, not with a decision already made, but with an honest heart laid open before you, asking for wisdom I know you are willing to give. If this morning's prayer is speaking to where you are, consider subscribing to Sacred Quiet and leave a comment below with what you're bringing to God today. Let's sit for a moment with that verse from James, chapter 1, verse 5. James was writing to people scattered by hardship, people facing real decisions under real pressure, not abstract theology. And in the middle of his letter, he says something remarkably simple. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God. Notice what he does not say. He does not say, if you lack wisdom, figure it out yourself. He does not say wisdom is only for the spiritually mature or for people who already have it together. He says, ask. That is the whole instruction. Ask, and it will be given, because God gives generously, without finding fault. That phrase, without finding fault, matters more than it might seem at first hearing. It means you do not have to earn the right to ask. You do not need to have your motives perfectly sorted out or your fear fully resolved. Before you come to Him, you can come exactly as confused as you are this morning, and He will not scold you for not knowing. This fits with something else James's readers would have known well, a familiar line from Proverbs. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. Notice again, it does not say He will show you the entire road from where you stand all the way to the destination. It says He will make your paths straight, step by step, as you walk in acknowledgement of Him rather than in isolated self-reliance. There's a moment in the life of the prophet Elijah that shows how this kind of guidance often feels. Elijah was exhausted, afraid, and unsure what came next. He stood on a mountain, expecting God to speak through something dramatic, a windstorm, an earthquake, a fire. But God was not in any of those. God spoke in a gentle whisper, a quiet, low voice, easy to miss if Elijah had not been listening carefully. That is often how wisdom comes to us too. Not in a dramatic sign that removes all doubt, but in a quiet clarity that meets us if we slow down enough to listen. Elijah did not receive a 5-year plan on that mountain. He received instructions for what to do next. That was enough. This is the truth underneath your mourning. You are not failing because you cannot see the whole path. You are being invited to ask honestly, to trust without needing full understanding, and to listen quietly for the next faithful step, not the entire future all at once. That is not a lesser kind of guidance. It is the kind God has always offered people carrying real decisions. So, this morning, Instead of demanding certainty about the outcome, you can ask for what James promised. A wisdom that meets you exactly where you are. Instead of trying to feel your way to a guarantee, you can trust the way Proverbs describes, acknowledging God in the decision rather than solving it entirely on your own strength. And instead of straining to hear something dramatic, you can quiet your thoughts enough to notice the gentle way God often speaks. You do not need the whole mountain range mapped out before you take a single step. You need enough light to know where to place your foot next. That is what we bring before God now, together in prayer. Lord, here I am again, still holding this decision that would not let me sleep in peace. Two paths stand in front of me, and I still do not know which one is yours. I do not want to pretend this is small. It is not small to me, and I believe you know that too. This choice will shape the shape of my days ahead, the people I spend my time with, the work my hands are given, maybe even the person I am becoming. So I bring it to you honestly, without dressing it up, without pretending I have already made peace with not knowing. I want to begin by remembering who you are before I ask you for anything else. You are not a distant God who hands out wisdom reluctantly. You are the Father James described, the one who gives generously and does not find fault in me for needing help. I thank you for that. I thank you that I do not have to perform confidence I do not feel before I come to you. I thank you that you have never once turned away an honest question. I thank you for being patient with me on mornings like this one, when my thoughts move faster than my faith does. I thank you that you are not surprised by my confusion, and you are not disappointed that I have not solved this on my own yet. There is real relief in that thought this morning. I do not carry this decision alone, even when it feels that way in the quiet of my own room. But Lord, I need to be honest with you about what is underneath this confusion, because I think some of it is not really about wisdom. Some of it is fear. I am afraid of choosing wrong and living with regret. I am afraid of disappointing people who are counting on me or disappointing myself. I am afraid that if I get this wrong, I will not be able to undo it. Forgive me for the moments when that fear has felt bigger to me than your faithfulness. I confess my impatience too. I want this settled today. I want the unanswered message answered, the decision made, the uncertainty gone, so I can finally breathe easily again. But I know rushing ahead of you out of impatience is not the same as walking with you in faith. Help me tell the difference between taking a needed step forward and simply trying to escape discomfort. And Lord, if I am honest, there is a little pride tangled in here as well. Part of me wants to make this decision so well that no one, including me, could ever question it. I want to look wise. I want to look like I have it together. But that is not what you asked of me. You asked me to ask for wisdom, not to manufacture the appearance of it. Strip that away from me this morning. I would rather come to you looking uncertain than stand alone pretending to be certain. So here is my honest request, plain and unadorned. I lack wisdom, Lord, exactly the way James described. I am asking you for it now, not a guarantee about which choice leads to a smoother life, not a promise that one path is painless and the other is not. I am asking for wisdom to know what faithfulness looks like from where I am standing right now. Bring my mind to the specific weight of this decision. You know the two directions in front of me better than I can put into words. You know the message I have not answered and why it feels so heavy to leave unanswered any longer. You know the change I am considering, whether it involves stepping into new work or staying steady in what is already mine, or speaking honestly in a relationship I have been avoiding out of fear. You know all the layers of it, the practical parts and the emotional parts, the parts I have said out loud and the parts I have only turned over silently in my mind. Lord, give me wisdom for the practical details and give me wisdom for the deeper questions underneath them. Help me see where fear has been quietly steering my thinking instead of truth. Help me notice where I have been listening more to other people's opinions than to your voice, even when their advice was well meant. I do not want to dismiss wise counsel, but I do not want to let it replace my own honest seeking of you either. I think, too, about the people who have already spoken into this decision, the ones who told me to move forward without hesitation, and the ones who told me to wait. I do not believe any of them meant me harm. They were speaking out of their own experience, trying to help in the best way they knew how. But Lord, help me hold their words rightly. Help me weigh them without either dismissing wise counsel or letting it replace the quiet work you want to do in my own heart. I do not want to make this decision purely by counting how many people agree with one option over another. I want to make it by listening honestly for your voice among all the voices, the way Elijah had to sort through the wind and the fire before he could hear the whisper. I am asking for courage now, not just clarity. Even if you show me the next faithful step this morning, I know I will still need courage to actually take it. So give me both together. Give me enough light to see where to place my foot and enough strength to actually move when the moment comes. I do not want to know the right step and still stay frozen out of fear. And Lord, about the message I still have not answered, give me the right words when the time comes, and give me the courage to send them without hiding behind more delay. If I need a little more time to think clearly, let that be genuine patience and not simply avoidance. Help me know the difference, even if only a little more clearly than I did yesterday. If there is something in me that needs correcting before I move forward, Lord, I ask you to show me that too. If my hesitation has become an excuse rather than genuine caution, correct it gently. If my eagerness for change has more to do with escaping something uncomfortable than pursuing something faithful, correct that as well. I would rather be corrected now, quietly, in prayer, than discover later that I moved for the wrong reasons. I bring to you now the part of Proverbs that has stayed with me this morning, the instruction to trust you with all my heart and lean not on my own understanding. Lord, my own understanding is limited. I can see maybe a few steps ahead, And even that is blurry some days. I do not want to build this decision only on what I can reason out for myself. I want to acknowledge you in it, honestly, at every turn, and trust that you will make my paths straight, even if straight does not mean easy or immediate. So I release my grip on needing the whole plan today. I release the demand I have quietly been making that you show me the ending before I am willing to take the beginning. I confess that is not really trust. That is control dressed up as caution. Forgive me for that, and help me hold this decision with open hands instead of a closed fist. I release the outcome to you now, Lord, as best as I know how this morning. Whichever way this goes, whether I take the new path or stay on the one I am already walking, whether the message gets answered the way I hope or differently than I expect, I ask you to be present in what comes after. I do not need every outcome guaranteed to be comfortable. I need to know you will be with me in it, whichever way it unfolds. Help me move this morning from anxiety toward trust, even if that movement is small. I do not expect all my fear to disappear the moment I say amen. But I am asking for a shift, even a quiet one, from spinning thoughts toward a settled kind of confidence, the kind that comes from resting in who you are, rather than from having every detail figured out. I think of Elijah on that mountain, waiting for you in the wind and the fire, and finding you instead in a gentle whisper. Lord, quiet my thoughts enough this morning that I could hear you the same way. I do not need a dramatic sign to feel certain. I need a quiet clarity I can actually trust, even if it comes softly, even if it comes gradually rather than all at once. I thank you in advance, Father, not because I already know how this will turn out, but because I know you will not leave me to figure it out alone. I thank you for the light you have already given me. Even the small measure of it I can recognize this morning. I thank you that you are patient with me while I keep asking, keep listening, keep bringing this same burden back to you as many times as I need to. I want to remember, too, that this decision does not define who I am to you. Even if I choose imperfectly, even if I later see a better way I could have gone, my place before you does not shift. You do not love me more on the days I choose wisely and less on the days I stumble. That truth does not give me permission to be careless with this choice, but it does loosen the grip fear has had on me this morning. I have been treating this decision as though everything about my worth rides on getting it exactly right. Lord, forgive me for that. Help me hold this choice seriously without holding it as though it decides how much you love me. I also want to bring you my body and my day, not just my thoughts, because I know this uncertainty has not stayed only in my mind. It has followed me into how I sleep, how I move through my mornings, how present I am with the people around me. Help me not to carry this decision so heavily today that I miss the ordinary gifts still in front of me, a conversation worth having, work worth doing well, a meal worth being grateful for. Let this prayer settle enough of the noise that I can actually live today instead of only surviving it while I wait for clarity. I think about the waiting itself, Lord, because I suspect I will not have this fully resolved the moment I say amen. Some clarity may come slowly, over days rather than in a single morning. Help me be patient with that pace, even though patience does not come naturally to me right now. Help me trust that a delay in seeing the full picture is not the same as you being absent or silent. You are not waiting to speak. I am the one still learning how to listen without needing every word instantly. I pray, too, for steadiness in how I treat the people connected to this decision. If it involves someone who is expecting a reply from me, help me be honest with them rather than avoidant, even before I have every part of this sorted out. If it involves people who are watching to see what I choose, help me not to make this decision based on their expectations rather than your leading. Guard my heart from either resenting their opinions or leaning on them more than I lean on you. Give me wisdom, Lord, for how I spend the hours of this very day while I wait for greater clarity. Show me whether today calls for a concrete step, even a small one, or whether today calls for stillness and more listening before I act. I do not want to mistake restlessness for readiness, and I do not want to mistake fear for patience. Help me tell the difference honestly, without letting either one disguise itself as the other. And Lord, whatever I decide, whenever I decide it, I ask that my choice would be marked more by faithfulness than by certainty. I may never feel completely sure. I am learning that feeling sure was never the standard you asked of me. You asked me to trust you enough to take the next right step, even while still holding some measure of unknowing. Let that be enough for me this morning, the way it was enough for Elijah on the mountain, the way it has been enough for so many who walked with you before me without seeing the whole road ahead of time. Help me leave this time of prayer a little lighter than I entered it. Not because the decision is made, but because I have placed it honestly in your hands instead of carrying it entirely in my own. Give me enough peace to get through today without needing the whole answer before breakfast. Give me enough trust to take the next step when it becomes clear, even if I cannot see the step after that yet. I do not know exactly how you will answer this prayer, Lord, or exactly when, but I know you heard it. I know you are not withholding wisdom from me out of frustration or distance. I know that whatever I do today, I do it able to ask you again tomorrow, and the day after, for as much light as I need for each step in front of me. Thank you for meeting me in the middle of an ordinary, uncertain morning. Thank you for not requiring me to have this figured out before I could come to you. I bring you my whole self this morning, the confused parts and the hopeful parts together, and I ask you to keep walking with me through this, one faithful step at a time. Before we close, if someone comes to mind who's facing their own difficult decision, consider sharing this prayer with them and take a moment to subscribe and leave a comment below. Lord, as this morning continues, I bring this decision back to you one final time, not with new words, but with a quieter heart than when I began. I still do not know exactly which path is ahead of me, but I know I do not have to know everything today. Thank you for the promise in James that wisdom is yours to give and mine simply to ask for. Thank you for reminding me that trusting you does not mean understanding everything, but leaning on you instead of my own limited view. Thank you for the picture of Elijah listening quietly and finding you in a gentle whisper rather than in noise. Help me listen that way today. I do not need the entire road laid out before me. I need enough light for this next step, and I believe you have already begun giving me that. Help me carry this morning's peace with me as the day unfolds, even into the moments when doubt tries to creep back in. Give me courage for whatever step comes next, whether it is answering that message honestly, taking a step toward the change I have been weighing, or simply waiting a little longer with patience instead of fear. Whatever it is, let it be a step taken with you rather than a step taken alone. I release the outcome into your hands again, gently, the way I meant to the first time I prayed this morning. Help my heart actually stay there instead of pulling the worry back into my own hands throughout the day. Thank you for meeting me here. Thank you for not asking me to have it all figured out before I could come to you. I walk into today a little steadier than I was an hour ago, not because the decision finished, but because I am no longer carrying it by myself. Whatever this day holds, whatever step I do or do not take before the sun sets, let it be a step held loosely in your hands. Let it be a step marked by trust rather than certainty, by honesty rather than performance. And if the answer does not come today, let me be willing to ask again tomorrow morning with the same open hands I am bringing you now. In your name I pray. Amen.